Everybody knows a guy who's just lucky. Remember in high school, there was that guy who just seemed lucky, but everyone liked him. Everyone talked about him. Everybody looked at him while he walked. Remember him, the lucky guy? You never knew a lucky guy who nobody paid attention to, did you? You've never seen a guy who was ignored, who nobody paid attention to and nobody talked about, who was also very lucky. It seems to be only the guy who was discussed all the time and had everyone's attention was lucky. Now, is that coincidence? Is it causation? Is it correlation? Is it the fact that he's only lucky because he is discussed, because he is admired? That's what gave him his luck. It is amazing to me that everybody knows a guy who is lucky, but nobody considers why. Nobody sits and says, this guy is lucky. Why is he lucky? The whys are the missing element to society today. Tate is so famous. Why? Everyone talks about the first point, including my haters. Everyone knows Tate and all these kids listen to him and he's bad. Why am I so famous? Is it because you're posting about me? Is it because you are eating food and bought an iPhone and pay an electricity bill so you can post about me? Is that why I'm so famous? I don't even know who you are. You're complaining that I'm famous and you don't want it to be true, but you're not smart enough to analyze why I'm famous as you spend your money and your time making everybody know my name. Work it out. How does he force the universe to provide so consistently? Well, my superpower is simple. It is very easy for me to make people envious of me. And when men are envious, they disguise it as hate. This is why men pretend to not like me. This is why men, false virtue garbage, pretend they are offended that I, 10 years ago, made a joke on the internet. They're not offended by their local drug dealers. They're not offended by murderers. They're not offended by Epstein. They're not offended by Gaza. They're not offended by all the people who are dying in Ukraine. They're offended by my joke from 10 years ago, and that's the only thing that truly bothers them. And it's definitely because they are morally perfect people. These people, as they jerk off to porn, as they lie, cheat, steal, like every human does, is offended by my joke. And it has nothing to do with a deep, seething jealousy. Anybody who believes that is a fool. These people are jealous of me. It is obvious, and it feels fucking great. On the days where the internet erupts with my old jokes are the best days of my life. I make more money. I get more email signups. I get more impressions. I feel fantastic. The only thing that would bother me is people not talking about me. But they can't help it because I make them envious. It is seething jealousy, disguised as virtue. And it is so obvious. It is so obvious. Let me give you an example. You buy a Lambo. You get rich, you buy a Lambo. And a guy says to you, one of them stupid cars. I wouldn't buy one of them. They're impractical. I prefer just a normal car. He is lying. You know he's lying. He can't afford one. He is jealous, and he's pretending a Toyota is better than a Lambo because he can't afford what you have. Jealousy. And he's pretending he's a moral person who doesn't want to show off, which again is a lie. False virtue hidden behind seething jealousy. And people are jealous of me for a lot of reasons. One of them is my strength. If I was fat or weak, they would not be jealous of me, but they can't stand the fact that I'm rich. And I'm famous, and I'm important, and I'm adored. And on top of that all, I'm big and I can beat the shit out of them. They can't stand losing so brutally at the game of life. They can't stand having a guy who could kick their ass, who's more famous than them, who's smarter than them, more well-known than them, richer than they'll ever be. It bothers them to their core. No man likes to lose on that level. I was the most Googled man on the planet. Do you have any idea how much energy that is? How else could I possibly beat a criminal case in the most corrupt country in Europe without all of this energy? And we can analyze this as professionals from an outside perspective. Let's pretend you don't agree with or believe in anything I'm telling you. Then we can analyze this from a very logical standpoint. I'm trying to win the hardest possible difficulty in a criminal case. Corrupt prosecutor, corrupt country. Matrix attack setup, global notoriety. Hardest mode, hardest version of a criminal case. If nobody talked about me or hated on me, I would be frustrated at the fact I have to go to court. It would be a boring inconvenience. But when all of my haters are posting how much they hope I go to jail, that makes me turn my A game on. That makes me think, everyone's still interested in this. Let me be funny on the way into court. Let me be funny on the way out. Let me get the whole news talking about me. Let me crack jokes in the court so the judge is smiling. Let me make the judge laugh. Because we all know I'm hilarious. Their hate helps me win. Even if you don't believe in the electromagnetic forces, even if you don't believe in those things, their hate helps me win. I need them to hate me. But they won't hate me if they're not envious of me. How many criminal cases are there currently on the planet? Endless. P. Diddy's in court. No one cares. They only care about me because they're not jealous of P. Diddy. They're jealous of me. This seething jealousy is so monumentally powerful, gentlemen. You can't get ahead without it. The fact I can fight, world title belt standing over demolished opponent, extremely important to elicit jealousy. Because men know that most things at the bottom line come down to violence. And they hate to admit that they don't stand a chance against another man. They like to cope and go, well, he may be a fighter, but I could. No, you couldn't. They hate that. The fact that I am rich, endless finance, allows me to purchase the time and energy of lesser humans. I can pay people to do things for me. I can pay someone to stand outside my house with a sign saying Andrew is great if I so choose. They hate that. Because money is how you measure the game of life, and I've won. I'm one of the top 0.00001%. I checked on ChatGPT, the AI, the Matrix, told me itself how unique I am. Less than 40,000 people on the planet have my money. And I started from nothing. So I have all the street lessons and the street mentality and the street strength with the finance of a child that's born into a banking dynasty, which gives me the best possible advantage. Because I have it all, like Blade, like a daywalker. Very few people went from the bottom to the top like me. You can be born into the top, and you can be born at the bottom. But to transverse the various echelons of reality, like I have, is monumentally unique. When people stare at me, they see what they could have been if only they were a little bit braver. Brave to tell the truth. Everyone's telling the truth now, it's allowed. Oh, they're all tough guys on Twitter now. Oh, they're all moral, Christian, sticking up for the right thing. But when Kamala was in charge and everybody was getting banned, didn't say a word. They all shut up. They were all quiet as mice. When the fight was on, it was me and Tristan by ourselves. Everyone was fans of us then. They loved us. Soon as the jail breaks open, they're all tough guys. But when the real fight happened, they weren't there because they are weak, as we discussed earlier in this emergency meeting. Weak people you can never rely on in a fight. They're there for the good times, but weak people are never there when the going gets tough. They weren't prepared to go to jail. They weren't prepared to suffer like we have. They weren't prepared to lose their jobs. They were all quiet like mice. God knows this. They can try and fool you. They can try and fool themselves. They can tweet hate at me, but God knows this, and God will give them what they deserve, which is permanent. It seems to be a permanent, no matter how hard they try, invisibility. Nobody knows or cares about these people. They care about Andrew Tate. And that drives them even more insane, makes them even more jealous. And that jealousy results in their souls evaporating even faster, which is more soul for me. Universal life force comes from haters. I am made of lightning. I never ever think of them, but they think of me every day. There are people I don't know where they live. I don't know their names. I don't know what they look like, but they know my history, my past, my name, where I live, my criminal case, the days I go to court, who my girlfriends are, which kids I have. All they talk about is me. I don't know who these people are. Talk about a perfect energy exchange. If I know them and they say bad things about me, I might accidentally think of them back. That's an exchange. No, I love that I don't know these people. I don't want to know them. There's plenty of Twitter accounts tweeting about me. I don't have a fucking clue who these people are. And I'm not going to learn. Because I'm winning. If they truly wanted to damage me, they would never discuss me. Let me grow irrelevant. But they can't help it. Which is why I'm always going to win, because I can solicit envy and steal the souls of others. This is why warriors of old wore bright feathers or gold to highlight their superiority and make other men jealous. They'd wear a bright feather or a gold chain. Say, look what I have, look at me. And other men would look at them and say, I want that. But you can't have it. You want my life and you can't have it. You want my views, you can't have them. You want my fame, you're never gonna get it. You will never be more famous than me. If I go to jail for 100 years, I will still be more famous than you forever. You will never, ever surpass me in money or fame, ever. Ever. And jealousy from others makes you powerful. All the energy they put into saying my name helps me. It always has, and it always will. The only way you can damage me is to not mention me, and that's impossible for these people. It doesn't matter if they say bad things about me or good things about me, because the secrets of the universe can be found in examining energy, frequency, and vibration. Envy is the most powerful vibration. I will keep on winning, and I will focus only on winning, and the losers will focus on me, a winner, to help me win. This is why I wake up each day more powerful than the day before. This is how I keep winning in court. This is why I will beat this criminal case. This is why I will become the prime minister. This is why I am so famous. This is why I am so rich. This is why I am so strong. This is why we teach strength inside the war room. This is why every member of the war room benefits when he comes to the war room meetings and stands next to me and gains energy. And I gain energy from them because we are a team of winners. When I become prime minister, everybody will seethe and they won't understand. I'm only prime minister because you didn't want me to be. You kept tweeting how important it is that I'm not prime minister. You kept saying my name to the point that I took over. You put me there. This is why I seem so lucky. This is why I put on muscles so easily. Because I always have that little bit of energy to train a little bit more, knowing that my enemies are jealous of my physique. It's why I make money so easily. When you tweet bad things about me, people look me up and find the good things and end up joining Hustlers University. Everybody is thinking about me all the time. And I know it sounds crazy, but the smart ones of you understand this. I am on the mind of every beautiful woman on the planet. Every single beautiful girl you see on Instagram, 100% of all of the eligible, beautiful, fertile women on this planet know my name. All. There is not a single beautiful female from Ulaanbaatar to Utah who does not know the name Andrew Tate. Every single one, blonde, brunette, big tits, big ass, from 18 to 30, every single beautiful woman knows my name. And if you go on a date with any pretty girl, I guarantee you if she could press a button and swap you for me, she would. She would press a button and you would vanish and I would appear. I am the dream of every fertile female alive. And they all know exactly who I am. Do you have any idea how much power that gives a man? Or about the haters, 24/7, analyzing my entire life. Tate. This is why the women know who I am. This is the point. I don't think of these women. I don't know these women's names. I don't need to. I know that if I go into any establishment, Sardinia, Dubai, Milan, Helsinki, I will leave with the baddest girl. If I want to, I just point and it's over. How can you not want that level of power as a full-grown man? Because you won't get it for money. You can pull up to the baddest club with a Lambo and buy a bunch of bottles like these crypto kids. Girls don't care. But they care about me because they can feel a vacuum. When I walk into the club, there is a change in the atmospheric pressure, and something just implores their neck to stare in my direction, praying for the point. That's the life you should want to live as a man. Anything less is failure. Anything less is failure. I couldn't possibly stand living as a man as anything less than that. I am a winner and I want to win. I want the best human experience, and I am prepared to suffer for it because I understand there's no light without dark. Thank God I went to jail. Thank God they arrested me. Thank God they're trying to put me in jail now in a criminal case. I cannot wait to win or lose because all of this results in me becoming more famous and more respected on the back of my suffering. All of it. Every single time something bad happens to me, more beautiful women message me telling me how proud they are of me, even though they've never met me, and how admirable I am for showing strength. There is no dark without light, and there's no light without dark. The difference between you and I is I've been prepared to suffer to be this man. That's why I was prepared to do the weights in the gym to get strong. If you're not prepared to train, how can you suffer at this level to become the kind of man I am? This is the only life worth living, gentlemen. Anything less than this is failure. The fact that you're going to go on a date with a girl from Instagram and she doesn't even want you, the only reason she's with you is because I won't reply, should bother you in your soul. You shouldn't be able to date women at all. To sit there and know that you are second choice to a man who she is messaging, guaranteed, who doesn't reply. I am a storm far in the distance fed by the evaporating dreams of jealous men. Men who are imagining in an alternate universe where they could match me in any realm, but they can't, and they know it, and it angers them to their core, and the anger forces their souls to evaporate faster, and I absorb it, and I grow stronger. And I will teach you all of this. This is actually the big secret of what the war room is. People say to me, but I can make money in Hustlers University. Why do I need the war room? Because the war room teaches you the secrets of the universe. And the war room forces you via peer pressure, via affiliation, via group standards to do the right thing so that you can once again win. There is more to life than simply making some money. Money is easy. Everyone should be a millionaire. Money is easy. There's so much more. There's so many hidden levels to this world. People will talk about Satanists, talk about this rituals they're doing with blood sacrifices, etc. You think these people don't understand something? There are so many levels to the world that you do not consider or think about or understand. That's what the war room is. We will teach you the light. The Satanists are the dark. We are the light. Because there is no light without dark. If the Satanists have rituals that make them powerful, the ones who are good, who defend society, who do the right things and defend their families, also have rituals which make them powerful. And you do not consider, understand, or implement these rituals. And you wonder why you permanently fail. I can tell any man how to get attention from the world and how to harness it into fuel. My blood flows at 450 miles per hour. This is a scientific fact. And your blood will not speed up through your veins until you know what I know, to do what I can do. If you sit in front of a microphone with no script for an hour and 12 minutes and just talk from your heart, nobody will listen. I don't have news articles. I don't have a script. I just sit down and talk about things I know. Because I have the souls of 50,000 men. You don't. So when you speak, men don't care. When you speak, women don't care. Nobody cares. You're invisible. Why would you want to live your life as a full-grown man and when you talk, nobody cares? When I talk, people listen. When I yell, people are afraid. When I give a woman a compliment, her heart is mine. When I give a man a promise, the business is done. You don't have these powers. You can promise a girl how much you're going to take care of her, and her heart is still not yours. You can promise a man how hard you'll work. The business still isn't yours. You can threaten a man's life. He will laugh in your face. And you just, what? You just accept that? That's how you're going to live? I speak reality into existence. I say to a girl, you love me now. I'll take care of you. And it's done. I say to a man, we're going to make $100 million. And it is done. How much energy are you giving away each day? You are scrolling X, scrolling Instagram. You're looking at girls on Instagram who wouldn't give a shit if you died. They don't know your name. They don't care about you. And you are staring at their pictures, giving them energy. You are making them more beautiful so they can end up with a man like me. Why are you liking her posts and looking at her pictures and making her more beautiful so I can take her? You shouldn't be interested in women who are not interested in you. There is a finite amount of human soul on the planet, and you are failing yourself because you're giving your soul away when you need to be taking the souls of others. I don't know how else to make you guys understand that my monumental success is built on the back of peasant envy. All of the angry little peasants and their envious, jealous snides hidden behind a curtain of false virtue makes me more powerful than ever. This is a framework that I've explained, and you've heard it before, the law of attraction. But it's deeper than this. There's more I need to teach you about universal life force. How to steal the souls of other men and become more powerful than ever before. There's no brilliance without mediocrity. There must be worms for the birds. There must be unhappy men so that a few can know joy. This is how the world works. It's how capitalism works. It's how everything's always worked. There are a few kings and a bunch of peasants. You must decide which team you want to be on. How can you be a king without ruling over peasants? Logic test. You want to be a king, then you need to rule over peasants. You need to have a lot of people underneath you as an individual to be a king. You need to have 100 people obsessed with you while you do not obsess with them for you to be a king. This is pure logic. You can't be a king over one person, and you can't be a king by yourself. You're a king if a lot more people, by a factor of 100, care about you than you care about. This is the basic premise, the prerequisite for royalty. This is how you know joy. The reason you're sad is because you don't have what I have. If you woke up with my capability one day, any woman, any car, money, fame, the BBC, CNN, everyone in the world asking your opinion all the time, everyone interested in what you do. If you go to the gym and lift weights, nobody cares. I go to the gym and lift weights, 10 million views. Just lifting weights. We're both doing the same thing, but me, I get attention, energy, focus. You get nothing. You go gym every day. Who watches? Nobody. Who watches your workout videos? Nobody. Who watches mine? Everyone. And they write under it, he's a loser, because they can't stand how good I look. They can't stand it. They can't stand how sexy I am. They can't stand how much I win. I am full to the brim with life force that I have stolen from these people. Because they watch me and they get bitter and they get sad and then they scroll off of me and they sit there semi-depressed watching TV. Because I stole their motivation. I stole their energy. They don't watch me and go to the gym. They don't see me do fantastic and then go train. They see me do fantastic and go, I hate this guy, and then watch TV because I took all their energy. I took all their motivation. I took all of this, all mine now. And I train even harder. This is why I grow more powerful. It's why people can't stop staring. I will teach you how all of this works. The law of attraction on cocaine. I will teach all of you inside of the war room. But I can only teach you if you understand me. I can only teach you if you are prepared to do the difficult things which must be done for you to win. You have a limit. We will find it and we will push you beyond it. It is 2025. This will be a transformative year. Perhaps the most important year of your life. I have a strong suspicion when you're an old man and think back on your life and tell your best ever story. Your grandchildren will ask you, when did that happen? You're going to say 2025. It happened in 2025, the best year of your life. But your life will not be as good as it could be unless you learn to harness the energy from others, until you learn to do the difficult things and get envious peasants to feed your soul.